Oh, he.
Right. He, you don't need the capital H. You just make that a small h. Go back a slide. And so these are small things, but these are minor things that can help you. Okay, now here you have a lot of supporting contents, that's fine. But if you can tell us the chapter, that makes it life easier, right? You also don't have to include all of it, maybe one quote or shorter, that's okay. But if you put the chapter number or the page number, that's even better than quoting the whole thing. If you're going to do this, I would stick a picture on this page as well. So we're not just looking at words, right?
Yeah.
And if you go back one more slide. Yeah, this is okay. So these are, see how you have chapter 9 with the capital C. So you keep mixing it, right? They should all be capital C. Okay, Ada, that was good. It's a good presentation. Just clean up the small, details and resubmit it or send it to me by email, and I'll put the marks in for you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Next. And don't worry, if the next presentation has mistakes, don't worry. I'm not going to repeat them. You just know how to clean them. You have to clean them for when you hand it in. Okay. Now, for those of you who have not read The Gatsby, Ada told you basically the whole story. So that's okay though. Now you have an idea of what's happening. Okay, so now she's going to talk about Hamlet, and you have to do this book anyway, or this play anyway. So this should be an interesting presentation. This theme that she's going to talk about is a major theme of the play. So go ahead whenever you're ready, Ada.
So here is another presentation. The topic is the role of women. In Elizabethan times, women belonged to their male relatives like their fathers, and after their father died, they belonged to their brothers and then to their husband. Women were allowed to marry from the age of 12 in Shakespeare's time, but often only women from wealthy families would marry so young. But they can now choose who they marry with, and the women didn't have their own property. So in Hamlet, women had no rights, no powers, and they had to rely on their relatives. And the social status of women depends on the social status of relatives. That's why men always despised the woman at that time. And there are two female characters in Hamlet, and both of them loved Hamlet the most. Meanwhile, Hamlet hurt them the most. The first one is Gertrude. She's mother or aunt of Hamlet. She's also the wife and ex-sister-in-law of King Claudius. I know it sounds confused, and the first impression of Gertrude is always she's unfaithful, she's disloyal. However, when you relate her and that special time, you will realize that it's the only thing for her to keep her as a queen. So here are the supportive content. And the first quote was said by Hamlet. And Hamlet described every woman as weak and frail in character after his mother married his uncle. And it was undeniable that his mother did something that betrayed his father, and she cared about herself only. At the same time, she also hurt Hamlet the most. However, like I mentioned before, it was the only way for her to keep her status and powers. And the next quote happened after Hamlet told Gertrude that he was only acting mad and pretending to be mad. And Hamlet also revealed the truth about the old king's death. Gertrude lied to Claudius when he asked if Hamlet was fine. Gertrude basically said Hamlet was crazy and sick. And in my opinion, she actually protected her son, because people can forgive Hamlet if he had mental illness, but if he was found that his pretending action was actually part of his revenge plan, Claudius definitely gonna kill him. And then when Hamlet advised his mother not to associate with Claudius, Gertrude agreed, but did not comply when she saw Claudius. And as you read on, you will find out that all Gertrude did was satisfy her husband and son. she was trying to help both her loved ones by distrusting one and lying to the other. At the end of the play, Gertrude drank the poisoned wine that Hamlet should drink, and there will be no one to protect or truly love Hamlet anymore. So for Gertrude, as a woman, she tried her best to protect herself and her son at that time. And here is another female character in Hamlet. She is Ophelia, and she is the daughter of Polonius, and she used to be Hamlet's lover. And here are the quotations. And the first quotation, the first quote was said by Polonius. He's the father of Ophelia, and this quotation directly revealed the relationship between daughter and father. The daughter was belonged to the father, just like Adam. And I think at that time the women were objectified, and the rest of two quotes were told when Ophelia's father and Claudius decided to use Ophelia to spy on Hamlet. It can tell that women could not decide anything by themselves. And if you read the book, you will know that Hamlet said very mean words to Ophelia. But Ophelia was too kind and naive. She still saw Hamlet just sick. To conclude, Ophelia was an innocent and overprotected girl who did not have any personal thoughts and could not control her own life. So, in summary, the role of women in Elizabethan time in Hamlet was that women were suppressed by the males in their lives, like their brothers, fathers, and partners, and women were weak, naive, and despised by men. Here's the works cited, and that's all. Thank you for listening.
There you go. Presentation number 2. I like, you spoke a lot of details. What I will tell you though, I think what's missing is maybe a little bit more. You had more images in your first presentation than in this presentation. There's a lot of citations and quotes and ideas, but there's no images of, I don't know, parts of Hamlet. The best way to make a presentation, and this is for everybody, is every slide should have maybe an image and some words. Because really the focus, I told all the students this at the beginning, and maybe Ada, you remember or not, it's okay. But you are the presentation, right? So we're focused on what you're talking about, but if you can include an image, then we have an idea of, okay, so women are oppressed. There are a lot of paintings, for example, from the Elizabethan era, or even modern day paintings that depict, for example, Gertrude or Ophelia that you can find on the internet. I know because some students will find pictures of Ophelia. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away about Ophelia because she's a sad person, but lots of sad pictures of her or images of her being taken advantage of by Hamlet and the other male characters. There's a lot of romantic paintings made of that. But anyway, so that's what I would suggest. If you want to include them and you upload it, I mean, because you presented live again, you're in the A range, right? You're still at around an 80 for this presentation. If you want to add some images, a couple more marks will come your way. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Last presentation. You're finished the course if you finished, right? That's it. Do you have anything else to do for the course, or is this the last thing?
I still have one essay.
Oh, okay. So at least the presentations are done. Those are done. And this is good for the other students. They can see what the presentations are like. Okay, so this is your e-portfolio. And I'm going to explain this before you present it. For everybody, I might have mentioned this earlier, but the e-portfolio means to build a website based on a question. And in this case, Ada had to choose a short story. There is a list of short stories to choose from, or you could choose your own short story. It doesn't matter to me if it's, if it's from your culture, if it's Burmese, or if it's Chinese, or if it's Indian, or if it's, I've had students write about short stories from Germany, etc. It doesn't matter to me. but you have to draw a comparison with the short story to something you've read from grade 12. So I think it's Hamlet or Gatsby. Which one is it, Ada? I think it's either one, right? You can choose, right?
Yeah,
You
choose
can
one of
choose
them.
between Gatsby and Hamlet. But so this is what Ada is presenting today. Now the e-portfolio is not just about the book and the story. The e-portfolio is also showing a little bit about Ada's personality, and then she might also present some connections. But this presentation is not technically, you know, Ada's not going to tell us everything about the story and the book because none of us maybe have read the short story, but she's just going to show us what she did for her work and what she's included in her e-portfolio. Now, what did you use? So this one is a bit more of a casual presentation. What did you use? Did you use Facebook? No, you used Jimdo site, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you just present and I can talk to you, I can ask questions along. It's a casual presentation. So go ahead, tell us what you've done.
Okay. So here's the homepage. And as you guys can see, the culminating project and my name, the course name, and the teacher's name. And when you click on the works cited, it leads you guys to a works cited, and those are the websites that I used.
Good.